Camera operator at a Hungarian television station has been caught on camera kicking and tripping running Syrian refugees. Let's watch.
Here we start. This is a special recording. The focus follows the movement of the woman. The woman stood near and she was restless. She was afraid that the green sack could hurt her. Her left foot was free. The weight of the woman was at this moment on her right leg. But there was no aggression from her. She just stepped on the side and she turned left. Here we see the right leg of the woman. After the falling, the woman's left leg was about 1 meter far, and her right leg was even further, about 110 centimeters far. She put it 110 centimeters far. She can no longer reach the migrant from now on. The wrinkles on her left knee didn't change. And the opening angle between her legs remained 44 degrees during the turn. She turned continuously to the left, and her left foot turned with her hip. The left foot didn't move in the direction of the migrant. There was no kick, no straddles, no tripping, nothing. Just fake news from German editors. All the left liberal editors, blinded by their prejudice against the camera woman, maintained to have seen a tripping. The right foot of the woman was in the origin 110 centimeters far from the migrant. When the migrant's two legs were next to each other, the woman had already turned away 36 degrees. We can compare how her right knee stood at 36 degrees in comparison to 0 degrees. At 44 degrees, the legs were in line. The shortest distance was 57 centimeters. At 56 degrees, there was the tangent. Optical illusion was seen at 64 degrees rotation.
Pay attention to the wrinkles on her undershirt. When the woman twists 20 degrees, then the wrinkles have disappeared and the shirt slips forward. The wrinkles are back and the shirt is now hanging sideways at the back pocket. Here are the legs in a line. The woman's hip turned and her left leg moved away on the circular path from the migrant. After the turning, at 64 degrees, it looks like as if she would reach the right knee of the migrant, but the distance is 120 centimeters. Liberal media in Germany and all over the world earned millions with this optical illusion, and the woman just pulled her leg away. And she didn't hold her left leg forward in the direction of the migrant, but on the side. The tip of her foot is outside of the circle. As the woman faced the German RTL photographer, she held her left leg sideways over the intersection of tangent and radius.
So the camera person that you saw there is Petra Laszlo of N1 TV. This was at the border hotspot of Rosk. And you do see a fairly chaotic scene. You see what could be at the very least many dozens or possibly hundreds of refugees running away from police. So it is a scene of chaos, but it's a scene of chaos that does not need the added cruelty of you tripping an old man holding a child.
This story is so disturbing, and I don't know what it is about this video that makes me emotional, but I'm going to come out and say it. It makes me emotional. Because these are people who are fleeing from a very violent situation. They're desperate. They don't know. They're leaving everything behind. Everything they know, they're leaving it behind. And they're trying to get to Germany through Hungary, right? And right now in Hungary, there is this huge issue of xenophobia. Not by all people. I'm not making a generalization, but specifically a political party there known as the Jobbik Party, right?
Look at this newspaper. Today news stories. Can Hungary opposition unite to defeat Viktor Orbán? This here. Holocaust survivor Agnes Heller have been urging the country's opposition parties to come together that would include working together with Jobbik. Alright? With Jobbik. Don't believe the Young Turks. They are liars.
A political party there known as the Jobbik Party, right? And this television station that this woman worked for is closely tied to them. They are very nationalistic. They are very anti-immigration. They don't want anyone that's not Hungarian to live in that country. In fact, back in 2008, their election campaign was Hungary belongs to Hungarians. Okay, so they are just not friendly, to say the least. So that kind of behavior from her is unsurprising once you kind of learn about the political party that this television station is linked to.
Yeah.
That being said, the biggest problem in most issues, whether they're international issues or domestic issues, is that people have no empathy. And when you treat others like they're garbage, it just shows that you're just not a good human being, right?
Yeah.
We're so divided, whether it's by nationality or race or gender, whatever it is. Just have some fucking empathy. Here's a man running away, holding a child, and the only thing you could think to do is to trip him.
Just make it a little bit harder.
It's a fucking kid,
Yeah.
right? I mean, she's disgusting. And thankfully, she's gotten a tremendous amount of criticism and she's been terminated from her job.
Yeah.
The woman was immediately sent away because the company had received death threats. The case was geometrically not investigated. The tripping was an optical illusion.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about some more of the consequences in just a second, but when you see there, it really shows, I think, how well the human brain has developed so that it can take a group of people that it's not very familiar with and sort of wall off the normal emotions you have for other groups of people. That you can see a group as, because they're a different religion or a different tribe or a different sect of the same religion, or they prefer a different sports team or whatever, you despise them. And you think it's fine to despise them. You think it's preferable. You think it's a good thing to despise them. But like nobody who hears about, I had a friend whose family literally escaped the killing fields in Cambodia, and she told me the stories that they had of an uncle who went up into a fruit tree to get fruit, and there was a mine in the tree, and he died. And like, imagine they finally make it into a neighboring country, and people are fucking tripping them. Or people fleeing Nazi Germany, and they have some asshole just trying to make their trip a little bit harder.
Let's see. This is the United States Holocaust Museum. Voyage of the St. Louis, 1939. On the voyage were 937 passengers. Almost all were Jews fleeing from the Third Reich. Sailing so close to Florida that they could see the lights of Miami, some passengers on the St. Louis cabled President Franklin D. Roosevelt asking for refuge. Roosevelt never responded. Following the US government's refusal to permit the passengers to disembark, the St. Louis sailed back to Europe on June the 6th, 1939. 532 St. Louis passengers were trapped when Germany conquered Western Europe. Well, I suppose this asshole, it was your President Roosevelt. We don't want a large number of Jews in our country. Hitler can't force us to accept more than we want. Franklin D. Roosevelt, President of the USA. Let me show you something. This is the Moment magazine. The founders were Elie Wiesel and Leonard Fein. And this article, How the Anti-Semite Miklos Horthy Saved the Jews of Budapest, by Elizé Rabinovich. In 1944, Hungary regent Miklos Horthy saved more Jews than anyone else in the world. Miklos Horthy, regent of Hungary. Okay, let's get back to our pictures. These both pictures are from the same newspaper, Süddeutsche Zeitung, German newspaper, in 2015, and the same picture in 2017. In 2015, the resolution and the contrast were manipulated. I suppose the German editors did not want that we recognize the optical illusion. Euronews in 2015 and a HD picture from 2017. This is the German television number 2, ZDF heute. This manipulated picture against the Camerawoman. This picture in 2015 were manipulated. We cannot see the wrinkles on the knee of the Camerawoman. Focus, German newspaper. This manipulated picture. I suppose they wanted to ruin the Camerawoman, just because she was working for the Patriotic Jobbik Party. BBC, in full HD, but you cannot see the wrinkles. Mashable, in full HD. What do you think about this full HD in 2015? The Camerawoman, mother of 2 children, has got death threats because of this German fake video.